Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the XboxEra Podcast. I'm Sikamikanico and I'm joined as always by Shpeshal Ed and Figments. How are we doing, guys?
G'day.
We're doing all right, I guess.
Doing all right?
Much better now. We're out of lockdown, which is good.
We're just going into lockdown, but we'll get into that.
The rest of the world's going back in and we've just come out, which is really, really good.
We'll get into that in a bit. We are 10 days away from new consoles.
Most of you are. I'm not.
All right.
I'm 12 days away.
I'm talking the royal we. The royal we.
Yeah.
We are 10
the
days
royal
away.
we.
Although I got corrected and someone, I think I posted a thing on our XboxEra Twitter account that was like a little countdown that pre-dragged 10 days, a little animation. Yeah. Someone came back to me and was like 9 days actually. I was like, is it? It's the 31st today for me. So I've got 10.
Yeah, it's the first year.
I've got 10 sleeps, so it's 9 days. So maybe they're Australian or New Zealand.
The thing I'm anticipating over the next couple of weeks is a lot of people are going to be getting their boxes early. And
you reckon?
Yeah. Dude, here in the States, like, they're already starting to put boxes on shelves in some stores. Like, in locked cages, but they're there. They're ready to go. So I'm thinking theft is going to happen, or some store is going to say, screw it, everyone gets their boxes today. But I would expect 100% we're going to start seeing Twitter and YouTube light up with a bunch of people getting their boxes really early.
You reckon?
So,
yeah. Oh, well, that won't be me.
Especially now, considering, like, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem now that Microsoft has given near launch units back 2 months ago to reviewers that were pretty much almost done.
They were previewed. I think the recent lot that went out were all
final retail units, right?
Final retail units, yeah, with all of the bells and whistles therein, which is really cool because there's one there, which was fun.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, have you guys been playing anything the last couple of weeks since we last chatted?
I'm playing something that apparently I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Ooh.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm not playing anything that I'm not allowed to talk about. But all I've been playing is Genshin Impact on my iPad Pro and Modern Warfare on my PC. I sold my One X already in preparation for the Series X.
Wow.
Because, I mean, with 10 days left, give or take a day or two, depending on your region, I mean, there's no point in keeping that around, especially since the closer you get to the launch, like, you're going to be getting less money out of it.
Yeah.
From other people.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
It made sense to sell it now and just wait 2 weeks. I mean, most of the games I play right now are cross-play. Thank God that's a thing. So it's not like I'm missing anything. You know?
Well, I got to take my Pro in this week sometime to trade in towards my PS5, which is the console I will be getting day one on the 12th, since my Xbox order got delayed. So I've got to keep the One X around a little bit longer.
You did say though that you might be able to pick one up if you trawl around seeing if anyone cancels pre-orders, right?
I'm gonna have to make phone calls like at different EB stores to see if like anyone's cancelled a pre-order, which happens every now and again, but I doubt it. I don't know. I don't think Microsoft. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if Microsoft didn't make as many consoles as Sony did. I don't know if Microsoft just allocated them all to the US and the UK, because the store I went to said that they got 300 PlayStation 5s and 40 Xboxes. Now, if you extrapolate that over 300 stores, and that's one retailer, then think about all the other retailers. If that is the case, if that's the discrepancy between PlayStation 5s and Xbox inventory across Australia, either Australia wasn't taken seriously or Microsoft just didn't make as much as Sony did, which I find weird because Microsoft's been ready so much longer.
I think it's someone was saying this on Twitter a little bit ago, but there was I can't remember who it was, but I did start hearing things of like the Xbox Series X might be harder to produce because they're relying on better bin chips, and those are hard to come by in manufacturing processes. So whereas because Sony's relying on overclocking, they can get away with higher yields, but lower quality bins because they don't have a stringent like standard of things they need to push out. Not to say that they're low standard, but because of that overclocking, they don't have to worry as much.
Yeah, I saw that report. I don't know how valid it is, and frankly, I'm not technologically knowledgeable enough to make a guess on that. I do think that the PS5 is probably easier and cheaper to produce, maybe, but
cheaper. Oh, I don't know about that one.
Well,
I don't know about cheaper. Wouldn't be so sure on that one.
But yeah, outside of lots of stuff that I can't officially talk about yet, I've obviously been playing with the Series S. I can't really say much yet. It's weird. Embargoes are weird, all right? You got to play by the rules. But it's very cute. It's very small, as you can see, and it's an Xbox.
It is. It's so small. I'd taken a photo, which I sent you earlier. So the retailer, the one that I've pre-ordered my Xbox at, they've got dummy units in all the stores to show people what it looks like. Man, the S is... You don't realize how small it is till you see it like in person. And even the X, you know what? Photos make the X look so much bigger than it is. The Series X is really not that big.
Yeah, it's
not
awkward
that big at all
because it's a cube or
that's right,
a cuboid.
Cuboid.
But I really love the design of both. I did see a really cool Photoshop where someone had put the Xbox logo like in faint white paint on the black circle there.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan of the black grill.
I think it should have been a uniform with the rest of the body. Yeah. I don't know why they made it look like a walkie-talkie from SpongeBob.
Yeah, I really like it. I think
I
it's
don't know.
really
Even like
dinky.
My wife saw it yesterday and she's like, "Why is that grill black?" It was like the first thing she said. She's like, "Why is that grill black?"
Did you read the design? The designer's reasoning for it?
No.
They put man, I'm gonna have to dig out the quote now to be official because it's luckier because I had this exact conversation a couple of days ago with a friend of mine, and I think the official reasoning was something to do with how lots of little black holes look more distracting than
one big black one.
One big one.
Yeah.
It was an interesting one.
Yeah, but like, hold on. Like, look at the 1S though.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I still think.
Yeah, also like if you're distracted by your console, you either bought a PlayStation 5 or you don't. I don't know what the hell you're thinking of. Like, who gets distracted by their console? Yeah, the PS5.
No, the PlayStation 5 is going to be distracting regardless.
Yeah.
My God, that thing is like...
I know we're skipping ahead a little bit here, but...
I can see why they delayed putting it in people's hands, because they obviously knew that as soon as people got their hands on it, they're going to start putting it next to current consoles and older consoles. And man, like, we already knew it was huge, yeah? We already knew. Once you see it in photos next to other hardware, it actually somehow looks even bigger. Like, I saw a photo of it next to the OG Xbox One, which was a behemoth.
Yeah.
And it makes the OG Xbox One look like a PSP. Like, it is just so big. It's unbelievable.
I feel like that's just such a compromise towards proper cooling that they could have avoided by designing the hardware in such a way that they could have made that more efficient.
Well, do we want to get into this? Because, I mean, I feel that this ties into the whole 2019 GitHub.
The GitHub leak?
I don't want to get into it because people will be spamming them YouTube comments all day long. It is. It looks like a great machine. I'm surprised there aren't more people going, why is it so massive? And if you don't think you can come up with an answer as to why is it so massive, and it's not, they really don't want to overheat, it might be because they're pushing parts beyond what they were originally pushed to do, is in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, that seems like a really, that seems more like an educated guess than anything, considering the size of the flippin' heatsink that the guy pulled out of the box.
Look at how much crap Microsoft copped for the Xbox One being bigger and weaker.
Yeah. Doesn't go.
Funny how
the tables turn.
2013.
Yeah, it's funny how it's not going the other way now, does it?
It's the 2013 curse reversed. It just keeps going and going.
But like
the gift that keeps on giving.
No, it's just instead of 2013, it's literally like the PlayStation fanboys are ignoring all the flaws, whereas the Xbox fanboys in 2013 couldn't ignore any of the flaws.
But like the thing is, the difference between the Xbox One and PS4, the original models in size, wasn't that much different. Like it wasn't that.
No, it wasn't
big. Like, and the thing is that, like, I'm lucky. I'm getting the digital version of the PS5. The disc version, the width of it isn't actually that far off the Series X.
No, it's not.
It's actually not that far off.
It's a massive
wow.
console.
That's like nothing. There'll never be a console bigger than that. No way.
I don't know.
Never,
I don't know about that.
No way.
I'm already thinking about what the Series X Slim is going to be like.
Can you imagine if the Series X Slim looks like a Series S?
Series S. Oh, man. That would be ridiculous if they could pull that off.
It'd be very cool. But that's...
And it's still whisper quiet. Oh, my God.
Be pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't hear it. I'm still tempted to get one of those.
Yeah, well, the that's not the only hardware that I think we've been playing around with. I think you've already got one, Figments. I am thinking about it, but Ed, you have finally taken the plunge.
I have joined the VR family.
Yes.
I said I was gonna wait. Like I tried out the Quest a while back, and I said it was cool, but I'm gonna wait for a better one. And luckily,
as an extension of what we've been playing on VR, I have been playing a game called Population 1 that came out a couple weeks ago.
It's the Battle Royale.
Like a week ago. Yeah,
I saw that on
VR
the website,
Battle Royale,
the Oculus website,
and oh my God, it is so much fun. It is ridiculous how fun that game is. You can climb up the sides of buildings. You can fly down like in a glider style. The weapons don't feel like hard to use, and the extra graphical quality provided by the Quest 2 really makes like a lot of the minor details up close stand out.
I might have to look into it.
Here's the thing, though: the Quest, in a lot of ways, reminds me of the Switch. In that, I have become so conditioned now by PC and console gaming, particularly on Xbox, that there's just games every month, new games all the time, and I'm not physically going through the mental process of I'm pressing the pay button and sending money to a digital storefront, and because of that, like I just get all this stuff, right? And so similarly on the Switch and on the Quest, I go to look at new games and I might scroll through the list. Oh, that looks interesting, and then I see the price and I'm like, not interesting enough. And
Game Pass is really like, and it's not just Game Pass; it's Epic. Epic just keeps giving away games, and the thing is, Epic's giving away good games. They're not giving away just like what Games with Gold is lately.
Games with Gold in November.
They're giving away actual good games. But back to the VR thing. So I was originally going to wait for the Elite strap with the battery carry case bundle, but that thing's just been sold out. And then my brother was like, you know what? You're never going to play the Quest for more than an hour or two at a time.
It's true.
There's no point worrying about that battery. I'm like, all right. So I took the plunge and just got the base unit and the carry case because I really wanted that nice carry case. And I joined a VR Discord, and I was like, man, I sure hope something like Dance Central comes out on Oculus. Apparently, Dance Central's been on Oculus for like a year.
Yeah.
So
I own it.
I'll be buying Dance Central because I absolutely love Dance Central with Connect.
I think there's better games.
I know, but I love that. Like, I'll get Beat Saber, I'll get Pistol Whip, I'll get the table tennis game that my brother keeps talking about.
What weirds me out though is just sometimes the lack of the games, lack of the games you would expect to be on that platform. Like Minecraft VR isn't on Quest. Yeah. You have to get it through the Rift store on PC, and that just it's like what? Yeah, why?
It's a bit odd.
Why is that not a standalone thing on the hardware itself? You know how much that could sell to kids if there was Minecraft VR standalone on the device?
I don't know if I'd put a VR headset on a developing child. It's like screens this close to their eyes. I don't know if I'd do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'll
still,
tell you what, though,
like
when yours turns up, Nick, when's it coming? When's it coming to your door?
Friday. Comes out next Friday. This Friday coming up, same day as the Fortnite Switch that I've got for my daughter.
Let us know in the comments below if you want to see a Beat Saber face-off.
I'm not good at it though. I'm not good at Beat Saber.
Ed in a versus.
I'm not good at it.
Battle to the death. We'll give you like a week or two to practice, all right? And then we'll have to have a little face-off.
I was never good at Guitar Hero either. The only dancing game I was good at, or rhythm music game I was good at, was Dance Central because I could actually dance.
You got that rhythm.
That was the only one I was good at.
Have you played the multiplayer yet, Figments, on Beat Saber?
I have not. No.
Dude, it's really good. It's really well thought out. So, you if you join a match in progress and there's room, you get to watch from like a grandstand position all the other Beat Saberers going nuts, and you see all their different channels coming through, or you can go stand next to them and watch them doing all the things. So you get like a little avatar.
It's a really cool game.
And then when you're playing the multiplayer match, you can see the other people like to the right and left of you doing their moves in unison to you. So all the tracks are synced up. It's really, really cool, and you can see how many points ahead or behind they are to you.
That's cool.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been jumping on their store. Like on my browser, I've got like a folder for store.
Yep.
Actual like video game stores, Xbox, Ubisoft, PlayStation, all that. So I added the Oculus one to it, and I've just been checking out games and what's on sale and stuff. But I'll wait till I get it before I actually
Does your Surface allow you to run any PC VR? Is it not powerful enough?
I have no idea.
Because there's one.
I assume it's not powerful enough.
There's one game I tried out earlier this week, and I really want to get a group together to play more, which is Phasmaphobia. Which, funnily enough, shout out to Synth in the XboxEra Discord for pointing me at it. I don't do horror games, like for the record. Half-Life Alyx scares me. Yeah, I'm a wuss, all right? And I can't even deal with head crabs jumping at me from the Half-Life universe. But Phasmaphobia is a PC VR game. And it's a co-op ghost hunting game. So you've got like a torch, a UV torch, or whatever detection torch, a couple of different like instruments to detect paranormal activity, a radio with like a tuning thing. But what's cool is it's co-op, and you go into these houses to hunt down and determine what type of spirit or ghoulie you're dealing with. But what's really clever is the game is listening to you talk. So in those trash TV shows you ever saw, like Most Haunted or whatever, you'd have the host go in and go, is there someone here? Give me a sign. Except the game's listening to you, and it responds, and
that's what Connect was supposed to do, remember?
Fucks you, man, the audio, it's like being in the first Paranormal Activity movie. You just got this bass noise, and it gets really creepy.
I've seen a lot of people stream that game, and it's.
I think Tom
phenomenal.
Warren streamed it today. Funnily enough,
it's phenomenal how well put together that is for a game that still clearly needs a little bit more work in the models department and the textures department. But like, honestly, just the concept itself is so intriguing. Yeah, and I'm surprised it's never been done before. It's like I don't think I've ever seen a game like that. Yep. And
Alien Isolation kind of does it. Like if you've got Connect,
Alien Isolation,
the alien can listen for what's going on and be attracted to the noise you're making.
Yeah, but the point of that is
it's not.
it's the manipulation of like your senses in that space, you know.
Yeah, it's very clever.
I'm really, really disappointed it's not on Xbox. I really am.
Maybe it comes later.
It and Among Us. Among Us not being on consoles is such a wasted opportunity, and I understand why it was never really planned to be on consoles and how much work it's going to take to get there. But Phasmaphobia and Among Us need to be on console.
Yeah.
Well, if
Phasmaphobia is community aspect.
If Phasmaphobia is listening to you, then it has more chance of being on PlayStation 5
because it's got a microphone built into the.
That doesn't necessarily mean the game couldn't say we require a microphone to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And the game isn't even that fun solo. Like it is a co-op first experience.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the XboxEra podcast and not the virtual reality one. So, yeah. Maybe that will be the next thing we start. Sorry for the tangent, Xbox folks, but if you haven't tried VR, we just love games, right? We're all about the video games.
And I was very anti-VR. I was very anti-VR.
It's just nice to see you come around.
If I can be swayed, anyone can be swayed.
Yeah.
Honestly, VR just takes like experiencing it for yourself. Really, it's one of the few experiences that you can't really understand until you put on the headset and you play a game.
Look, I still think that my Quest 2 will be I don't know if I'll buy those games that you full on get involved in. Like for me, it'll be one of those things where I'll jump in, have a few games of Beat Saber, jump out. Jump in, play some Pistol Whip, jump out. Jump in, play some table tennis. That's how I think I will use it personally, and that's okay. I mean, a lot of people might think that $700 for that's a waste of money. Maybe it is. But that's still how I'm going to do it.
That's still your money to waste, Nick.
Yeah, that's right. That's my money to throw away.
I guess some interesting and fun things this week. Obviously, the first thing we did, and I'll provide a little bit of backstory to this. So, folks might have seen a tweet from a prominent Microsoft journalist talking about an embargo date moving. So we have launched earlier this week XboxEra 2.0, which is our site refresh. It's a lot snappier, a lot faster. If you haven't visited the main website lately, go and check it out. We think it's pretty cool. But we had originally planned to time this for obviously the big event, which was our Series S unboxing, because Microsoft were kind enough to send me one last week. We had to obviously move that up when that date came up a little bit further because I think Microsoft just got the consoles out to everyone a lot quicker than they'd assumed. It was a bit weird putting together a unboxing video because I am not a big YouTuber with like a DSLR camera or loads of tripods. I think we did all right, all things considered. Yeah. It was funny. I was watching the PS5 videos earlier in the week from people like what's his face? Greg from Game Over Greg
Miller?
Yeah, Greg Miller.
Yeah, Greg Miller.
And other folks, and they were just like doing it in front of their camera and just like one shot, one take, just talking through it. I felt pretty good about ours in the end. Like I had multiple camera angles and stuff. So it was fun, and if you did watch it,
I'd love to do.
I hope you enjoyed it.
An unboxing video.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for an Xbox, just like because me being me, like if I was to do an unboxing video, the perspective I do it from would be from the perspective of a collector who plans to potentially sell this console or whatever it is. So I've always when I've had an old console that I've wanted to pack back up again to sell it, I want to put it back exactly the way it was the day it came out. But if the console's like 20, 25 years old, how the hell am I going to know what that is? So I've searched for unboxing videos to get an idea of how it should have been in the box. And most unboxing videos don't do a good job conveying that because you just see them open it up and they throw it all out. And it's like, I want an unboxing video where the person with the console says, okay, it's open. Here's how it looks. All right, now on the left here, that's where the AC plug goes. That's where the controller goes. And it kind of, so if I ever do an unboxing, my unboxing videos will be from the perspective of someone who takes the repackaging of their consoles very seriously for when they want to sell it. And that's it. Maybe I'll do one for the Fortnite Switch and for my Oculus Quest 2.
Yeah, do it. I mean, I have to admit, I did buy a set of white sort of linen satin gloves,
Major Nelson
to get my Major Nelson vibes going. But the console turned up at my door. Like, I was literally sitting here. I saw a FedEx van pull up. And I was like, and like, got downstairs, got a box. I was like, open the box, and it's that box there behind me.
Yeah.
And
Can see that.
this was at like 9:05 on a very busy morning for me, for my actual job. And I was like, just put it to one side and just had to carry on for my day. And then my wife I was gonna use her phone to do the other angle, and she was enjoying it. She was like, no, not yet, I'm just sorting the kids out, just, you know, I've just got waiting for a call from my mum, you know, I'll just hang on a minute. She really dragged it out, and so by the time I actually got to do it, and I did it in one take, I'd forgotten to wear the gloves, even though like earlier that day I'd taken the picture of the gloves on top of the box for the thumbnail. But life lessons learned. I'll wear them for the next unboxing we do in 2027.
Yeah.
Whatever new hardware comes out then, I don't know. What else has been going on today? Oh yeah, Microsoft released the new version of the Xbox app, and it's
and I think Nick has some thoughts on that.
It's a bit of a mixed bag.
Well, it's one step forward, two steps or more back. Like, I love how it looks. It looks great. And it performs great, and it's all uniform with the Game Pass app and the family settings app.
And it's not. It doesn't feel as bloated. It doesn't feel like navigating the store takes 1,000,000 years to understand.
Hold on. What store?
The store on the app. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm dumb. There is no store on that app.
What store?
I guess that can be part of the joke here. Let me pull up the app on my phone.
I was navigating it, and I was like, man, where's the store? Where's the redeem a code option? Where's my achievements that I want to check?
I do know the achievements. They said they've got something planned, and they're going to be bringing it out, yada, yada. But...
Man, like, what is it with Microsoft and UIs and sacrificing stuff? Like, I don't understand. Like... Yeah. You know, and then the funny thing is, the new PlayStation app came out, and that thing is awesome. It's like legitimately great, and it has a store.
I do wonder though. I'm looking at it now, and obviously there's the Game Pass app, which has the. Does it have the store in it? It has everything on Game Pass in it.
No, it's just the Game Pass stuff.
It's just Game Pass.
Huh.
So what happens now is you have to search for a game. So let's say I wanted to buy Control. I searched for Control, which, mind you, I did the other day, and Control did not come up. And what would happen is it just lets you download the game without buying it. And then when you get on your console, you buy it. It's just
that
weird.
Seems really backwards.
It's just weird. And like...
Also, what the heck, you're right. Control doesn't show up when you type in Control.
No. If you just type in Control, the game doesn't exist.
Is there a specific search term you have to use?
I don't know. And I tried the remote play on it, and it's cool that we have remote play now, but the quality is not very good. And before people go along and blame Australian internet, which is not that bad anymore, I also have remote play on PlayStation. And remote play on PlayStation app is great. It is really, really good. Super high quality, high frame rate, low latency. The Xbox remote play, on the other hand, is not good at all. And there's no touchscreen controls. PlayStation remote play app has touchscreen controls, so I don't have. So a lot of the time I'll turn on the remote play app.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I noticed. That's another thing I noticed was that whole, like, the announcement of Xbox touch controls on specific titles. And it's like, why not just apply that to every title? Just put a generic Xbox controller on the screen and let people go at it.
That's what Sony
I don't know why you need game-specific touch controls.
Yeah,
it's very odd. It's very odd. Like I said, so the app looks great and it performs great, but man, have we lost a lot to get that.
Yeah.
We have lost a lot. At this point, I would actually take the old app back.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I now can't on the store find a game and install it. Like, I can if it's Game Pass, great, yeah, but what if I want to buy something? That's odd to me. It's a bit of a miss.
And you can't redeem codes on it anymore. So, and like I said, the PlayStation app has all that. You can check your trophies. It's got a store. You could it's all there, and it performs awesome.
Are you talking
about the old PlayStation app or the new PlayStation app?
The new PlayStation app. Like, visually, I could take it or leave it. The designer in me looks at it and goes, it's a little bit Web 2.0, maybe. Remember Web 2.0, where everything looks like a button?
Yeah,
like
it's all skew morphed.
It's a little bit Web 2.0, but taking that aside, its performance is good. I don't think it's really lost any features.
Did I not see something about the PlayStation Store where it was just a bunch of icons with no names for games?
The web store. The web store's not good.
Yeah, that looks really awful. Bad.
Also, apparently, someone did a stress test on it to see how well it performs. It performs worse than New Reddit. And New Reddit used to be the king of terrible performance online.
Oh dear.
But it's not just that. There's no visual theme. There's no visual cohesion. So the web store looks nothing like the app. Like, nothing like it. There's no similarities in how they look.
So,
at least Microsoft's tried to have everything look the same.
What you're experiencing here, or what we're all experiencing here, is that although we haven't lost any features with the operating system for the console, they're clearly doing some things to the back end that have meant they've had to push this version out, I think, ready for launch.
Maybe.
And then, because they've already said publicly, I think I read on Twitter from someone from Microsoft saying, achievements, we know, some stuff is coming, we'll share more soon. So I imagine there'll be an update to the apps to facilitate more functionality. But yeah, they've got to bring these things back. They know that people use them. I mean, it's
the store especially. Like, I legitimately
just don't know why. Like, I just don't know why release an app. Like, I get why release an app like this in the state that's so clearly unfinished and like doesn't even include the basic features that the old app came with. It just finish the product first before releasing it to the public. For the love of God. I don't understand this obsession with getting it out as fast as possible. Who are you competing with? There's no one else that's going to make an Xbox app.
I would say it's getting it out in stable for a launch. Console launch is the reason. If it was just a case of there was nothing coming down the pipe, but it's got to be at a certain level and have some functionality in there for the launch of the consoles, and then they'll play catch up. But the one thing I really noticed that was missing that I personally really miss is the remote function. Where you could you could type on your keyboard to search things on the Xbox. For me, I used it all the time when I didn't want to.
What do you mean? I even used the remote control. I even used the remote control functionality to turn the volume up and down. Speaking of which, because I think it's been revealed since our last episode, stroke of genius, putting the IR receiver behind the bind button.
Yeah.
Absolute genius.
Very cool.
Like, when I saw IR was gone, I was devastated. I'm like, no, I don't want to just rely on CEC. And then they had the IR behind the bind button, and I'm like, God damn you geniuses. That is unbelievable.
No, okay. Just rely on CEC. CEC works very well in the PlayStation, at least.
CEC works well, but what's the point if my Harmony remote can't turn it on to use the CEC? Like,
true.
Sometimes I just want to turn on the Xbox or the console or whatever to quickly do something where I don't want to pick up the controller. I can just keep using the remote to navigate it.
Yeah.
Like, having both is the best of both worlds.
Yeah, but so John, I don't know if you're under embargo for any of this,
Maybe.
But I was going to ask if the Series S has CEC this time around.
They already said it does.
I think it's public knowledge that it
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's public knowledge.
Because I know the One X and the One S do not.
No, that's right.
It's stupid that it took them this long when the PlayStation 4 had it at launch.
But that's because they had the IR blaster.
Yeah.
That's because they had the IR blaster, so they didn't need.
But that's the thing though. It's like even at the time, like everything was moving away from IR, like everything.
I know, but you want to know something though? Controversial opinion time. The IR blaster is better. The IR blaster is better than CEC. My experience with CEC has been very spotty across all the devices I've had that use it. Where the beauty of the IR blaster was, you could fine tune it. So I could tell it exactly what to turn on and not to turn on and when to turn it on and all sorts of stuff. And that was also the beauty of having IR. Between the two, I could get things exactly the way I wanted them. With CEC, you're beholden to whatever the standard applies to whatever it's doing. Like, there's no way to control it. And my CEC experience generally has never been good. Ever. I'm not a fan of CEC. I get why everyone loves it, and I get why it's a technology and everything, but my experience with it has almost never been good. Ever. But that's just me.
Wow.
I don't know.
So, aside from the Xbox app, there's been a bunch of other news the last couple of weeks. So, Microsoft's financial results, I think, came out as part of their quarterly call.
Yeah, 30% up on Xbox revenue year over year, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty solid. And again, I think, everyone's been talking about the Bethesda acquisition. Phil did a couple of interviews on it. Todd Howard's done some. As much as it's going to happen, i.e. they're not foreseeing any regulatory denial to it happening. It's not done yet. So
no, it's not. It's not done.
Early 2021 is when you can assume that deal will close.
Yeah. The news flash. You don't announce that if there's a chance it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If there's a legitimate chance it's not going to happen, I'm pretty sure you don't go public with it.
Exactly. Man, that was such a crazy day.
That's why they carefully word those announcements as intent to purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was an intent to file the purchase, but it's still up in the air whether it's going to go through.
But like they've done interviews with Todd and with his name escapes me.
Pete Hines.
Yes.
Pete Hines?
Like, and everyone talking and acting like it's already done. And what's this going to mean for it? Like, you don't do that if it's not but a done deal.
They are, but they're also being very, very cagey with some of their answers in that I can't tell you that yet because we haven't had the conversation because we're not owned yet by Microsoft.
No, that's right. But what I'm saying is, you don't do all this stuff unless it's all but a done deal.
It is all but a done deal. It's going to be... Man, this whole generation now is going to be super interesting to see how it plays out. I genuinely think you're going to have two different ideologies fighting for each other. And personally, I think you're looking at everything Microsoft wanted to achieve back in 2013, except it's done it the right way now. And that's simply by providing a very hard road, but they've provided the consumer a choice. All right, you want to buy physical, buy physical. You want to buy digital, buy digital. You want to buy a subscription, buy a subscription. You don't, fine. You can play either way. You want to play on PC, it's cool.
Want to keep your old controller, keep it.
All of these things still get them to where they tried to push everyone in 2013 but failed. But now maybe I'm speaking for the majority here, or maybe not. But I think most gamers are like, "Yep, come in, give me all the games," and that's it. That's all they care about. I don't care. I know lots of people do care about ownership. I know, Nick, you love to own your games, right? I don't give two hoots. If it's an indie developer that I play a game like Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and I know that's maybe not indie. Falconeer is a good example. I'm planning on. It is. I know it is, but it's supported by. It is still supported and funded by Microsoft. But when I see games like the Falconeer as a prime example, I know that I'm, regardless of, that I don't think it's coming to Game Pass. It's not, in fact, or at least it's not at this time. But I know that I'm going to personally go out and spend my money on that because, Thomas did that by himself, and that's pretty
It's a
crazy.
reward.
That's pretty crazy to me.
You want to give back to the people who are able to do that stuff.
But yeah, it's.
I was the same. I was the same with Cuphead. When I heard the story about Cuphead and how they mortgaged their house, and I'm like, man, I've got to buy this game. Because I'd want people to buy mine if I was in that boat.
Yeah, I bought it, and I'm rubbish at it. I'm worse than the guy that did the really famous YouTube where you couldn't get past the tutorial.
Cuphead. I'm not
that bad actually, but no. But yeah, as well as Microsoft's financial results, some, I guess, not too surprising news. The Gears Pop servers
they're
finally shutting down.
I think they confirmed it for end of year or March. I can't remember.
I swear I read it was March 2021.
Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah,
why
don't care. I don't know why they did it. Maybe
Why
that's
did they?
why Ferguson left.
But honestly, on the topic of the acquisition and stuff, why is it that there are some people who continuously try and I don't know if we had this discussion on the last episode.
Probably
about how people keep complaining about consolidation of the industry, but I think this was a chat in the Discord actually. People keep complaining about a consolidation of the industry when at this present moment there has never been more choice in the industry than now.
Yep. It's a weird thing to suddenly fearmonger consolidation of the industry.
There's only a fear of consolidation because Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are pulling out their checkbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if a certain other company was pulling out their checkbook at this rate, they wouldn't be so worried about consolidation.
Well, they have. They bought, or they're closing to negotiate on an anime streaming.
Oh yeah,
company.
That's right.
Yeah, they're
for $1
buying
billion.
Crunchyroll.
There you go.
Yeah.
Worth it.
So they've got the monopoly on anime. Aren't we worried about the consolidation of the anime industry?
No. Here's the thing as well, right? Is
No.
this whole consolidation of the industry, and people have when they've talked about the acquisitions before, they've gone, Microsoft at this point they've either gone for developers that they have worked with or that have been struggling and couldn't do it on their own, right? And I think we would mostly agree with that. Double Fine, Obsidian were, companies like that were going from project to project. Ninja Theory were hot off some really good success, and maybe they weren't struggling right then, but they had struggled. Playground they'd worked with for ages. Undead Labs they'd worked with for ages. So, but Bethesda, people are like, consolidation. But here's the thing, right? Look at what Bethesda had been doing, right? Prey, which was, from all accounts, a fantastic game. I personally haven't played it. It is on my list. A bit of a cult classic, but didn't do well commercially. Fallout 76 was their attempt to monetize on a regular basis the Fallout community. It didn't go particularly well. Wolfenstein Youngblood, another attempt there to monetize, didn't do great, right? Bethesda, really, in reality, with all of those studios and the publishing team, etc., they were struggling to fit into this new era, right? And that's why this acquisition happened, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm.
There is one other reason that I think gets lost. So last year, Bethesda revealed Orion.
Yes.
Their streaming tech.
Of course. Yep.
And if you watch that video, again, assuming it's not completely faked and all that sort of stuff, but that tech looks good, that streaming tech. And it's software. It's a software solution. So my assumption is that Microsoft saw that and went, we can just apply that over the top of what we have.
Yeah, it's got to be...
And make it even better.
There's all sorts of technology. The ID Tech 7.
Like the Bethesda, the more you dig into it, the more it makes sense why they went for them specifically.
Yeah.
The more you dig in.
Yeah.
And look beyond Doom and Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Don't worry about the IPs. Forget the games for a second.
It's just it's good to see that if the acquisition goes through, there's no doubt it will. But once it's all finalized and all said and done, it's good to see ZeniMax being under a company right now who right now is very in tune with allowing developers to do what they want. So ZeniMax and Bethesda can keep doing the single player giant games that they've always done without having to worry about making sure their devs can put food on the table, because the game is those games are becoming more and more of a toss up whether they're going to do good or not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think too many games in this generation vied to be the only game you play, and I've said that multiple times on this podcast. And I hated the way that's going. That's one of the reasons I love that so much, is because I can take 2-3 months off, and all I have to worry about when I come back, there is no fear of missing out. I can go and do everything that's released. I don't lose a level. It doesn't have to be played every day. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. Whereas, you know, your Destinies and things like that, you get this constant, like, oh, you're going to miss out if you don't do the daily strike or whatever. And there's only so much we can play, and I've touched so many unique games that I would never have played with stuff like Game Pass. I can't go back to the old way now, ever.
Yeah, I know.
So there was a comment made in that thread about consolidation, and the user was talking about how, like, it only feels like consolidation because everyone who grew up with the PS2 had 95% of everything. And because some games are no longer on PlayStation, it feels like everything's getting consolidated away from their preferred platform.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that. I think it was on Reset, but God, that's a really good point. Just how
it is what it is.
It's not consolidation. It's diversification of an industry that didn't really see a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
Until just recently, you know.
Yeah.
But back to Gears Pop, even though no one cares. Yeah, that was a
I don't know why that came out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, most people when they saw it were like, "What the hell is this?
What's the point?"
And it didn't make sense to try and make Gears appeal to kids. Like Halo makes sense because the enemies are like these fun little aliens that you can make into fun cutesy things. You know, you can't really make the monsters fight in Gears into fun cutesy things because
and it's funny
Gears
you say
bases
that.
itself on horror.
Yeah,
it's funny you say that because yesterday I found out that my son calls stormtroopers halos. I don't know how that became a thing, but he calls stormtroopers halos.
Bless.
I don't know.
Bless.
So I don't know because he hasn't really watched me play Halo a lot. That's the thing. Like his exposure to Halo has been minimal, and yet he saw stormtroopers in Star Wars and called them halos. So there you go. He doesn't call them locusts, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah. No, it's just
I think
Halo
as well
is just infinitely more Like it can be made infinitely more appealing to kids. Like I don't know what they were thinking with.
Well, yeah,
Gears
originally Halo was never rated M for mature, wasn't it? It was always rated T for teen.
No. Halo was originally rated M for mature. It didn't get a T rating until I believe Halo 5 is rated T. I think.
Need to check that one.
Let me see.
No, I think Halo has never had an M rating.
No, Halo 1 had an M rating for blood and gore.
No, it didn't.
Halo 2, yeah. Halo 2 also had an M rating. Halo 3 had an M rating as well.
I don't think so.
I'd have to look into that one.
Halo CE ESRB rating.
No, yeah, he's right. The
Rated
first
M for
4
mature,
Halo
blood
games were rated M, but Halo 5 was rated T. And yet, weirdly, Halo 5 has a scene in it where... it might be Halo 4, actually. I might be wrong. Is it the scene where the composer strips someone of their flesh and then it turns into a skeleton?
That's 4.
Yeah, that's
4 was the first one. 4 was the first one where they actually earned their M rating. But Halos 1 through 3 were like... They're marginally M rated.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider those mature games.
No.
Yeah.
Well, personally, but
yeah. Well, speaking of Halo 4... I think
it was just because in Halo 1, if you killed a grunt, they had like purple splatter on the ground, and that was about it.
Yeah. In Halo, speaking of Halo 4, that PC, looks so good. It looks so good.
Oh, I thought you were about to say. It looks so bad. Oh God.
No.
I haven't played it yet. I haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, I was very.
I can't
impressed.
wait to see it on Series X.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's getting a bunch of enhancements.
I can't wait to play it at 4K 120, man. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Did they confirm ray tracing as well or no?
No.
I doubt it. I'm fine playing. Like, I want to go through Halo 4 again just to see Halo 4 at 4K 120.
Yeah.
Like that just be wow.
It sucks, though, because I'm going to have to upgrade my TV, but I just upgraded this TV, like, this year, so...
Yeah, I'm lucky. I've got a 144.
Yeah, mine
Hertz
isn't.
monitor,
Mine doesn't support.
I'll just use
mine
that.
doesn't support anything more than 60 FPS. So
mine does.
60's good.
Oh, you lucky son of a gun.
4K 120, Dolby Vision, HDR10.
Ah, shut up.
G-Sync, FreeSync.
Get off your high horse.
A lot. Hey
guys.
For a long time.
Hey, have you heard the news? Cyberpunk's been delayed again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
Extending the hell crunch that they're going through by another flipping month.
21 days.
I said back in April, I found my post and I've kept it. I said back in April that I reckon Cyberpunk's a 2021 game. And with each passing delay, I kept saying it.
You're getting closer to being correct.
2021 game. Only 3 weeks off being right now. I still reckon it's going to be a 2021 game. I'm sticking to my guns.
Quickly edit your post and say for the Game Awards, and then
honestly, all this does is make me disappointed because with the recent news of how difficult crunch is at that studio, someone on Twitter, a former lead animator on The Witcher 3, came out and said that they were being paid $430 a month.
A lead animator, weren't they on contract?
They were a lead full-time animator. It was a full-time position.
No, they were a contract. No.
Was it a contract? But it was full-time work. I do remember that much. It was full-time work. $430 a month for full-time work is absolute BS. And it's just thinking about that in the context of another 3 weeks of hell crunch at CDPR. That's honestly
I remember they said that they were fresh out of uni. Their uni recommended them for the job. It was a contract, but obviously they were so doe-eyed at the idea of working for CDPR that.
But that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it right.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm trying to say. That's
how this stuff happens.
Taking advantage. You're just so wrapped to be in the game industry.
Looks good on my CV. Blah blah blah.
You're not. You're so desperate to get into the game industry that you feel like you're not in a position to knock back an opportunity just because you're being paid peanuts. So you just do it.
Yeah, but that carries with it a certain degree of victim blaming. Like you should be able to pursue the career you want, because it's essentially what you're saying is there is some
blaming the victim.
What you're saying is there is some fault on the person taking the job because of the passion they have.
Not at all. I'm saying that these companies take advantage.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm saying that they take advantage of that.
And honestly, okay, then we're at agreement here. I just think it's ridiculous that these companies are allowed to get away with it.
It is
farming passion for peanuts.
It's been interesting watching the reaction to how people view development houses, right? So CDPR obviously has a strong positive reputation with gamers at large, or enthusiast gamers, because of their attitudes towards DRM, because of The Witcher 3 and so on. But if we were to conversely look at, and I suppose it's not really related, but I'm just using it as an example, if we were to look at 343, every single little piece of news that comes out that could be framed in a negative light is this catastrophic shitstorm of drama and vitriol. I mean, yes, I am aware, by the way, that some developers at CD Projekt Red were being sent death threats because a video game wasn't releasing. If that's you, if you're on the internet and you're a keyboard warrior and you're sending death threats to a person making a toy for you to play, and because it's 21 days later and you've got to shift your PTO allowance to another day, you have a serious mental deficiency and you need to go and get yourself checked out, because that's broken. You're a broken person. It makes me angry. I don't understand the cognitive behavior.
It's honestly ridiculous disgusting. The amount of vitriol that these developers are getting. But
the example I was going to, obviously this week, and this was next on our list, was Chris Lee, I think he was the head or the studio head of Halo Infinite, so he was the project lead of the whole game, has stepped back from the studio, but is still with Microsoft, right? And that's all we know, right? And it was posted as exclusive. It's a scoop, and then immediately the response is Halo's in trouble. Infinite's going to fail. They had another person leave of the 300, 400 developers working on the game. It's definitely in jeopardy. They had to send in Joe Staten, blah, 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 blah. And look, it's a game, and every Halo game, and it's not like I'm making excuses here, but if one person from my 500 person company leaves and they're high up, the whole company isn't in disarray, right? There is enough smart people in the room to overcome a problem.
People who are already likely lined up for that promotion to take that spot.
What bugs me about this though is that they act like the sky is falling down.
But like
you don't know why.
But we all know why that is. Yeah, but we all know why that is the way that is. Like,
it's awful.
Have a look at. I mean, Rare lost someone as well.
Yeah, and the reactions are like, "What's going on at Microsoft?" People might want to leave sometimes.
So if you look at the initiative, right? If you look at the initiative and their staff list, they've got a lot of ex-Naughty Dog and Santa Monica staff. As far as I'm aware, Naughty Dog and Santa Monica are still functioning and they're still going okay, despite the mass exodus of staff. We all know why it's doom and gloom when it's from a Microsoft studio, and it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah.
And the other thing that gets me too is just like how, oh wow, shit, I can't remember what it was. But going back though to the whole 343 stuff, last week there was a discussion in the Discord about, and I think someone left the channel, the server over it. The discussion of colors in
the armor coatings.
Shaders. Yeah, the armor coatings. And before I move on to more of that discussion, I want to just say that I think the armor coating stuff is complete BS on the part of 343 and whoever decided that was going to be a proper way to help monetize the game. I think if Call of Duty, huh?
What did I miss?
So, man, I think Silky left the Discord over.
No, wasn't Silky.
Someone did.
Definitely wasn't Silky.
No, it was Stop It. It was Stop It left the Discord. So what happened was, Gem and Stop It were getting into a fight about the armor coatings, but they were completely arguing about separate things. People weaponizing people. I want to preface this by saying I don't like it when people weaponize genuine criticism to dunk on a studio and send death threats and all this hateful vitriol towards individual developers who likely had no say in the decisions being cast down for management.
Yep.
But what's happening with these armor coatings? Like, I saw pictures of renders of Spartans with different colors.
What's happening is, rather than the ability to customize individual armor pieces, as you could do in previous Halos for like almost 10 years now, 343 has decided to move in a direction where color choices are single use and apply to all pieces of the armor set. So you can't individually customize everything, and coatings have to either be purchased or grinded out in-game, rather than just simply available to you based on the fact that you have this armor piece and want to customize it. I think it's ridiculous that coatings are even on the table when games like Call of Duty have existed with customizable camo skins for every single gun, unlockable via gameplay for the last 15 years. I don't.
So are you talking about? So for example, are we talking about like how, for example, in Halo 5, if you unlock an armor type or a piece of armor,
if you unlock a shoulder pad in Halo 5,
you can apply any color to it or whatever.
No, you can't.
It's primary, secondary, and accent colors you can apply in Halo 5.
You can't.
It's to the whole armor.
In Halo 5, you don't
set.
get an individual shoulder piece. You get armor.
Yeah.
You get a top bit and legs, and I think you get a head, right? And then there might be variants of them that if you apply different colors, you can do different things, right?
Yeah.
But this is what bugs me, right? Is it's been briefly described as you've got, I think it's like a 7-layer shader that allows their team to put color materials and patterns onto armor, weapons, vehicles, and replaces the dual color, which is primary and secondary. So I could have my main body white and my secondary parts of my armor pink.
Isn't it for Halo 5? Wasn't it primary, secondary, and accent?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
And this is unfortunately I take the other stand, right? We haven't seen it in action. We don't know what's out of the box, right? It's unfortunate, right? This is all just unfortunate in that the game is delayed, but the marketing continues. So when Monster Energy Drink or whoever releases their codes and you see armor coatings, what's that? And then you get hammered with questions, you have to explain it, but you're not ready to reveal it yet. So you provide your explanation and the community goes bonkers and starts sending death threats about colours of armour on your video game, which, by the way, you only see in the menu because 9 times out of 10 you're playing red versus blue, man. Like, who gives a crap?
Okay, here's the thing with that. Like I said, the people hijacking genuine criticism of a microtransaction system in the game in order to send death threats and vitriol towards developers who never had a choice or a say in those decisions coming down from management, which I believe 100% this is a decision coming down from management that is being forced through for the microtransaction system. Those people are scum and don't deserve to be talking about Halo in any regard, or any game for that matter. But there is genuine criticism in the fact that this is a much more limited system than existed previous.
Is it? Because 343 is saying this allows us to be faster and give you more.
This allows them to design armor colors and armor sets for the community.
I don't think I ever spent $1 in Halo 5.
I did.
I don't think I ever spent a cent in Halo 5. Like, I just...
Look,
whatever.
It allows them to design it, but people want to be able to design things on their own terms and be able to design things that fit their tastes without having to rely on grinding out for a specific shader or a specific set or buying a specific set.
But hang on. All right, and
I think that's a fair criticism.
It is, but it is. I would agree with any criticism when we've seen it. When we've seen the full thing and we've walked through how it works. Because at the moment we've seen a render and we've been told that, you know, your armor coatings will affect a per piece armor customization, right? So it's better than 5, 3, 2, and 1 in that you can customize more. It's meant to be on par with Reach, which had the best armor customization of any of the Halo games. And yet, you know, I get it. If the game is released, let's levy some criticism, ladies and gentlemen, if there's criticism to be levied. But we're going off of a statement because they can't show much yet, because the game isn't out yet, because it's not finished yet. I don't even get the drama about anything in video games 9 times out of 10. I normally roll my eyes in
a teacup. I just saw the renders. In my opinion. I just saw the renders and thought, those renders look pretty nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind how they look.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought.
And the reason
I think the one takeaway from some of those renders, especially the one where it was like the color purple or something, was that according to some marketing, that color purple cost like $2. And it was just
value
like
$5, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, value $5, and it's like, really, $5 for the color purple? I'm not saying this is the actual price. This is what just was, quote unquote, revealed through accidental marketing.
That's why I feel so sorry for him.
And it's like
they've got to pickle this up, and the marketing ball is going to roll.
One, the game's released, so stop talking about it. I don't know why you keep talking about it and keep having all these marketing deals like not be pushed back. 2, like, for the love of God, if those prices are even remotely accurate, $5 for the color purple? Good Lord. What if you have one that has like dinosaur claws on it? Are you going to charge me $10?
I don't know. It sounds cheaper. It still sounds cheaper than Fortnite.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Anything's cheaper than Fortnite, dude.
Still sounds cheaper than Fortnite to me.
Fortnite is the ultimate microtransaction, like whale farming operation.
But man, they do it so well. They do it so well.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
You even went
I've
with it.
spent so much.
Exactly.
Money in
Fortnite. Not just for you, but for your kids, dude.
I've spent so much money in and Rocket League.
Last time we had an episode, weren't you saying how like you were trying to grind out for your son to have an Iron Man skin?
Yeah, I've done it. I just did it. It this week. I'm level 141 in my battle pass, and I'm level 103 on my son's battle pass. That's a lot of Fortnite.
Ridiculous, but and the thing is, like, I kind of get some of the sentiment because we all know that it looks like Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free to play, right?
It is free to play.
It is. They announced it.
So there's some sentiment going on saying, if this is what the microtransactions are starting to look like, I think I would rather have just had it bundled in with Infinite as a paid thing.
But again, though, that sentiment is based on one single render.
I get it. But like, that's still a render that doesn't show anything good.
Look. Do you want to know something? Okay, look. Here's a reason why it doesn't matter. There's one really big reason why it doesn't matter. Really, Mr. 1080p dashboard. It's a massive one, and it's the same reason it doesn't particularly matter in Call of Duty.
Okay.
It's first person. You don't see anything you unlock in Fortnite, and that's why Fortnite smashes them.
No. Hold on.
Because in Fortnite,
are we talking about the gun camo stuff that I mentioned in Call of Duty? Because it does matter.
Right now,
we were talking
about armor. We're talking about armor now, though. We're not complaining about gun skins.
Well, I was the one who brought up how gun camo has been in Call of Duty for 15 years, and they've never changed it and never will.
Because that's the thing. In Fortnite,
I give Activision
skins
ideas.
Matter. I don't buy gun skins in Fortnite because you barely see your gun in Fortnite because it's a third person game. Where you do see your skin in Fortnite because it's third person.
Yeah.
So, where in Halo and Call of Duty, a gun skin would matter more because the gun is all you see.
I would imagine.
I don't know.
I get what I agree with you. I think that armor customization in Halo, for Halo fans, and maybe I'm speaking for myself here, I've always taken great pleasure in, and even when I repurchased them all in Master Chief Collection, every individual game you could set your look how it used to be in the day, and I went back and did that, right, because that sentimentally meant something to me. I think I agree with you in that it matters less because you never see the character, though. If they do what they did in Halo 5, you had the intro and outro animations. Granted, most of the players in a team-based game were always blue and red. Maybe they will lean more into showing some more third-person stuff so you can show off the cool armor sets and stuff. But that's the thing. We don't know yet. We haven't seen the game. Well, we haven't seen anything outside of that snippet of campaign we got in July. So I would just say to those worrying and having this drama about it, look at everything thus far. I think they're going to do okay. Every Halo game has a turbulent up and down development, and I think it's just because they're so massive. There's not very many AAA games now that give you a huge campaign, a huge multiplayer suite, a huge, presumably,
and even before stuff like Forge came into existence, I think people forget that Halo 2 got cut short in its development because Bungie couldn't decide on what to do, and that's even the reason Halo 3 even exists as a separate game. Halo 2 was supposed to be the end of it. It was supposed to be much longer and much more feature packed, but it was already going into its almost fourth year of development. And Microsoft was running out of patience, and Bungie couldn't come up with a single damn thing to do. So
have you watched the Vidocs on Halo
brilliant.
2?
Yeah,
that game came together in 12 months.
Playing Halo 2 multiplayer all day. That's why the bloody campaign was cut short. If they stopped spending so much bloody time playing multiplayer the whole time, maybe they would have got that campaign done.
You say that, mate. Look at what multiplayer did for the industry. That changed how we play console video games online. Before that point, it was all servers. It was all server-based.
I'm not that, but that's not what I'm debating.
I know.
The multiplayer was done. They didn't have to spend all their time playing it.
Yeah,
like they could have been making the campaign rather. I don't know. It has, for me, it has not aged well. But let's not get into that discussion. You know what? I'll jump onto the You Had Me at Halo podcast.
We need to make some guest appearances on that.
Stir the shit out of that pot. Don't worry, I'll do that real well.
I'm gonna give him a talking point right now. Halo 2 multiplayer is the worst one.
It is easily the worst one.
Okay, Halo 2 Classic multiplayer is the worst one. Halo 2 Anniversary is really good.
It's good.
I will say that.
But it's not as
Classic
good as...
is so bad. So bad.
It's bad.
It's all we knew. We didn't know any better. We didn't know any better. What else did we have back then? We had nothing. We had nothing.
Anyway,
so
there was nothing even close to Halo 2.
So to us, it was the best. It was the best at the time. But man, try go back to that now. Oh,
yeah, I'm calling time.
It's so gross.
I don't believe we have a Rumourmill this week, Mr. Shpeshal Ed, do we?
No, I'm still waiting on confirmation of something. Oh, look.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. No.
Because the game involved has too much history.
Don't talk about it. No,
we're not naming the game. We're not naming the game.
Cut. No. Just cut. Let's go to community questions. Come on, community questions.
Too much history, and I'm gonna wait till I actually have confirmation.
Just cut it. Okay, we're waiting. Just no. Community question time?
You'll have to send me to the ER otherwise.
So we have community questions.
I like it. That was good. There was lots of good, hilarious moments there. Yes, we do have some community questions.
Okay. We start with Patreon.
Wait. Well, yeah. While we're talking about Patreon,
yeah.
Let's thank our patrons. We have, if you've not checked out the Patreon, dear listener, head to patreon.com/XboxEra, where you can contribute to allowing us to actually continue doing this stuff and help fund the fancy new website. Like Thank you, patrons. Yeah, all of the fun stuff. Everything we've been able to do, and the fact that Microsoft actually said it's a Series S. We've been live for less than 2 years, and we've managed to get to that point. It's
barely over 1
boring.
year. What do you mean?
Yeah,
not even close to 2 years.
Well,
it's still barely
there's 2
over
years
1
in July, isn't it? Next year. So
That's
we're
right.
18 months. Crikey.
Yeah, it's more like a year and a half.
That's mad. How far we've come.
Yeah.
But while I'm on the subject, let me...
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Community questions?
Community questions. I love this. I love a bit
of
community questions.
From the Patreon. Okay. I don't... Because I don't know if I want to use the name that's there, because is that his real name? Or is that gamer tag name? I don't know.
Take a guess.
Oh, really?
Do you want me to have a look?
Should I know who that is?
I'll have a look.
Should I know who that is?
Read out one you do know, and I'll go back to it.
Okay, well, all right, Torn Raptor then, because that's not his real name. With Phil Spencer recently saying he would like some E-rated games, hinting at maybe a 1v100 game, how do you think Microsoft could achieve this? Would it be a new studio built from the ground up just to focus on family games, an existing team within Xbox Game Studios, or would they more likely go through global publishing to fill the gap? Also, outside of 1 vs 100 and Banjo, what kind of E-rated games would you like to see come from Xbox Game Studios? I think they would outsource a 1v100.
Yeah.
I don't reckon they do it internally.
With someone.
Yeah,
100%.
For sure. But yeah, Phil, well, maybe I shouldn't say that because that's not public knowledge. But yeah, it's good that he wants more E-rated games. What would we like to see? Yeah, Banjo's obvious.
Viva Pinata.
Remastered.
Mobile.
Jet Force Gemini. Bring back Jet Force Gemini as like the kiddie Gears of War.
Halo Mega Blocks.
Gears of War. The Halo Mega Blocks game. Bring that back because it looked awesome.
Or just dump Mega Blocks and partner with Lego. All right, then it will sell.
Well, apparently that can't happen, can it?
I presume it can't, but I was being facetious.
Apparently. What else? What else is an E-rated game that I'd like to see from them? God, there's heaps. I can't think of them off the top of my head. I mean, they did the Disney Rush thing, which was pretty good.
Yeah, there needs to be more of that. I think, especially with Game Pass now, because My little boy.
Bring back Kinect to give me Kinect Sports.
Well, my little boy, obviously, he absolutely loves his Minecraft. He plays a lot on his Switch, and we're toying with this idea for Christmas of do we get him a Switch Lite that's his own because then he'll stop threatening his mother's Animal Crossing island. And it's like I
still don't get why the light.
Because he doesn't need a screen. He just doesn't. Even now on the Switch, he takes it away and he'll sit in a little chair.
Why not have the option?
Well, this is the thing, right? I've said to him, because we're obviously still rebuilding all of this house, and the kids' rooms are the two rooms we're focusing on next as soon as money allows it. And we're getting him, he wants kids being kids, he wants a bunk bed really up high. And I was like, well, let's get you one that lasts you into being a kind of teenager. It's got the desk underneath and the wardrobe built into it. Yeah. And I said to him, look, dude, new Xbox is coming out this year. We're going to have the X and the Series S, so you can have like my old One X or my old One S, and I'll give you a little 27-inch monitor and some speakers, and I'll put all the family settings on it, and I'll let him have a console in his room with obviously some strict control over it because he's nearly 7. He's getting to that point. And I realised that suddenly I really need to get him into some more games, but then I was looking through about what I felt comfortable with him playing. And there's plenty there, but there's not enough that's easy and that teaches some mechanics that are useful for the bigger, more grown-up games. One I settled on was Supraland. Have you tried that yet?
No.
It's like Grounded, but it's it's like a first-person platformery Minecraft meets Grounded kind of thing. It's really hard to describe. You're like a little red soldier army man in a backyard.
Okay.
It's worth a look, but they need more stuff like that. I completely agree with Phil Spencer on that. I think they need more E-rated in the Game Pass catalogue.
They know. I assure you they know. They're aware of it. It's not a thing they're oblivious to.
I wonder if any future acquisitions might be based around that premise.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and I'll continue to mention this developer. Asobo should still be the number one target, and one of the reasons they should be is because they've all, I think I could be wrong. Please don't quote me on this, and maybe I should Google it before I say it. But I think it was actually Asobo that made Disney Rush.
They did. You're correct.
Asobo contributed to Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
Asobo's done kids stuff. But they've done adult stuff, and they've done Flight Sim, and they contributed towards Recall. Man, they have to be the number one priority, surely. They have to be. They've done. They're so versatile. It seems crazy to me that, maybe they are number one. I don't know, but they need to be the number one priority.
I don't think there'll be a focus to build a studio from the ground up, though.
I don't think so. Not for kids stuff. They've got so many studios now and so many teams within those
acquire
studios.
Nintendo and port all the Nintendo games over.
Yeah, that's another option.
Easy.
But
easy peasy. What are they worth? What are they worth? Like $100 billion? Easy.
Yeah.
Chump change.
Yeah.
That's like under the couch.
Yeah.
Hopefully we covered that question without too many tangents, but maybe we didn't.
The other chap that's asked the question is actually one of our newest patrons. So you could let's just refer to him in case he doesn't want the full name. Let's refer to him as Mac.
Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Mac. Hi, what do you think about what Jason Schreier writes about CD Projekt Red? I understand that Crunch are not good, but I feel that they are trying to make it a sensation and a scandal. Any news about the stupid Elden Ring game? By the way, great website. Have a nice day.
I like Mac.
On the topic of CD Projekt Red in 2077, it seems like they're trying to make it out to be a scandal. Dude, it's already a scandal. Crunch should be more. Crunch should be more at the forefront of the discussions in this industry, because game developers and players need to be aware of the tough shit that developers have to go through to make the AAA experiences they love and enjoy, and they need to understand that those developers need to have just a standard five day a week job where they get to see their families at the end of it. It's ridiculous. Jason Schreier is covering it as accurately and as well as he can, as much as I don't like the man. I wish he would cover more of Naughty Dog doing it. Yeah. But it's just...
Yeah.
I think the problem is that the way that started was there was a few things Jason didn't report on, like paid overtime and all that sort of stuff. So then it started to get framed as, well, they get paid for their overtime and they get looked after and blah, blah, blah. But then more stuff started coming out that kind of counteracted that, and it's become a bit of a mess.
There was another podcast, I can't remember if it was Game Informer or one of those, where, I've got some friends at CD Projekt and they said, hey, it's actually not that horrific, and then Jason brought the receipts. The thing is, and then I think someone from that company attacked Jason directly and said, this, in paraphrasing, this guy's a bit of an asshole, and I think Jason does really excellent reporting, and I like reading a lot of his articles.
He is one of the few, if not probably one of the only
proper
journalists in the gaming industry.
At the same time, though, I read less of his articles now because they're behind a paywall, and
honestly, it's frustrating to me to see someone who goes so aggressively at the topics that matter handle it so flippantly at times. Because remember when he was going after Naughty Dog for all the crunching they were doing for Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2, but then the moments the leaks came out, all that reporting just kind of stopped,
Yeah,
and it was.
I think people see bias where they feel attacked.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the Xbox community think Jason Schreier is some sort of anti-Xbox.
Yeah.
Douchebag. He's not. I don't think he gives. I don't think he genuinely don't think he cares. I
genuinely don't think he gives a rat's butt about
care.
Literally any of this. He is really good at what he does, and the situation with crunch is distressing. I don't like how people keep bringing up, they're getting paid overtime. People would rather be at home with their families than getting paid overtime, to be completely honest.
For sure.
It's not giving them overtime is not an excuse for treating them like disposable waste.
There's other things in there as well with regards to CD Projekt Red, right? And I've seen a collection of material that points to a company that continually posts some pretty transphobic crap. But because it's gaming's biggest darling, it just won't ever get the coverage because you've got an army of fanboys out there that just will stand up and go, no, they're the good ones.
It's no different to what's going on at other developers that are media darlings.
Yeah, that's just
people
reality.
need to reconcile the fact that human beings are human beings.
Yeah,
I personally don't ascribe to any theory that human beings are innately shit.
Yes,
but they're gonna act like human. They're gonna act within the context they're given, as appropriate to that context as it is. Anyway. So I think it's just appalling that it's allowed that a lot of companies are allowed to get away with treating their employees like crap, even if they do good things.
Yeah.
Even if the company does good things, like the DRM-free policies on GOG. GOG Galaxy 2.0 being an incredible launcher on the PC space. It is fantastic. Good. But that doesn't excuse treating their workers like garbage at all.
Yeah.
You can have good policies in place and treat your workers like human beings, for God's sakes. It's not mutually exclusive.
You can make really good movies and music and be a horrible person.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
Second part about that question. Any news about the stupid Elden Ring game?
No,
don't do it.
We're not.
Don't do
we're
it.
Not,
don't do it. We're not answering that question.
No.
You
No.
have some news about Elden
Don't
Ring.
do it. Don't do
but
it.
Don't
the
say
is,
anything.
No, wait. The thing is, right? So, my source came to me about Elden Ring, and brought up something about Elden Ring, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to say anything until you're 100% sure about this. Because the last time I said something about Elden Ring, I got chewed out for it, and there's a horrible person on Reset that said mean things about me, a horrible moderator, who I'm not going to name, even though they bagged me technically publicly. But there's a horrible person on Reset that said mean things about me because of Elden Ring, because they thought that I made it up.
For ad revenue clicks.
Yeah, I know.
We
Because
don't
of all
know.
the money
for
we
the
made,
ad revenue we don't get,
all the
right?
money we made about Elden Ring back last November when I said it.
So what's the next excuse they're gonna bring us? That
Yeah, I know. But
Phil Spencer lines our pockets personally or something?
Let's
I don't
go.
know.
I am waiting for what I was told to be a little more concrete before I say it, and I risk that. I'm taking a risk right now because someone else could scoop it, and I have a funny feeling that's what's going to happen. So, for example, From tweeted out about Elden Ring for the first time in a long time, saying, "We hope you look forward to it." So I quickly DM'd my person saying, "Can I please tweet out what I want to tweet out?" Quote tweeting this From tweet, and they're like, do it if you want, but I can't give you any more confirmation than what I said last time. So it annoys me right now that I can't say what I want to say. I can say it. Don't get me wrong. I can give this news about Elden Ring that I have right now. I've actually been given the okay.
You just don't want to cop the flack if it goes wrong.
It's me that is choosing not to. So, Reset moderator, if you ever see this, I'm choosing not to say what I know about Elden Ring because it's not 110% confirmed. And I am taking the gamble that someone like Jason Schreier or Jeff Grubb or Tom Warren will come along and they will say it. That Elden Ring, blah, 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 blah.
And
so
if it turns out to be not true, then their reputation can be the ones taking the hit, not yours.
I am taking that gamble. I'm hoping that in the next... Where are we? It's the 1st of November today. So, November, it's come back full circle with Elden Ring, hasn't it? So I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks or sooner, I will get that confirmation that I am so desperately seeking about Elden Ring, and I'll be able to say something. But I do know stuff about Elden Ring. I'm just choosing not to say it because From fans are horrible people, and they're not nice at all. Because I don't care about From games. There's nothing in this for me. I don't care. I'd rather have a scoop on a game I give a rat's ass about than one that I don't. The last From game I played was Demon Souls on PS3 because it was given away via PlayStation Plus. I played that game for 10 minutes and hated it. So I don't care and have never touched a From game since. Don't give a crap about it. So nothing in it for me. But anyway, sorry, mate. I'd love to give you the news I know about Elden Ring, but I'm not going to because people are real mean. So that's that.
Mean to Nick specifically. For some reason, I'm not getting any hate mail in my inbox, and it's very depressing. Some
of the stuff I've read, and I read it on Reset, and I've read it in another Discord that's related to Reset, and it's like, I don't even care about this game. Like, why would you think I have made this up about Elden Ring? I don't know anything about Elden Ring. Actually, no, I do now, but like, I don't care about Elden Ring. I'm not going to buy Elden Ring. I'm not going to play it. I don't care. I wish the game didn't exist now. Like, I'm at the point where I wish the game didn't exist. I do not care. I just get told stuff and I say the stuff that I'm told that I'm allowed to say, and that's it. That's all I say. If I was going to make up something about Elden Ring, why wouldn't I have made it up like back when we first started this thing so that we could have got attention right from the start? Like, why did I wait till November 2019 to make it up? Like, it's just people being stupid, dude. Jesus Christ. Like, why would I choose then to make it up? Like, we would have wanted the attention from the start. From when we first started this in July 2019, why didn't I make up the Elden Ring rumor then? So that we could have had the attention right from day one.
What we do need, clearly, is an Ed soapbox segment for the podcast going forward. Because,
some of the crap I read,
I swear to God,
piss off.
If I get to any community questions and they mention a 4K dashboard, we are going to have words because I'm not going through all this again.
Man, I just...
No, if a 4K dashboard is brought up in community questions, we're cutting that immediately. No. We're skipping that.
When I read that I made up the Elden Ring rumor, it's like, seriously? Like, why Elden Ring of all things? Why wouldn't I have made up others? Like, there's stuff that's bigger than Elden Ring that I could have made up for attention.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Anyway.
Haters gonna hate. But yeah, enjoy that really, really slightly fragmented answer to your question, Mac. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, mate.
Thank you for joining us.
I know lots of things about Elden Ring, but I'm choosing to stay quiet. Anyway, Twitter questions. SX2 Gaming. Looking at the recent leaked footage of Miles Morales load times on PS5, how much do you think load times will play into console comparison narrative next gen? Will they be that much shorter on PS5 that it is a constant talking point? Okay, it will be a talking point. You know why? Because their console's weaker. Their console ain't got anything except an SSD. So they're going to talk about it. See, here's the thing, right? Oh, here comes another rant. So in the PS1 generation, the Sony fanboys...
We need a jingle for this, John.
The Sony fanboys had sales to lean on because the PlayStation 1 sold more, a lot more. But you know what? It was the weaker one. The games probably weren't that great compared to, say, the Nintendo 64, which had the really highly rated games. PlayStation 2, they had the monopoly. Weaker console, though. Again, games. I reckon the GameCube had the higher rated games. Xbox had really highly rated games. And the highly rated games on PlayStation 2 were mostly third parties, which ended up on other consoles anyway. Like GTA 3 ended up on Xbox. So all the Sony fanboys had with the PS2 gen, again, was sales. With the PlayStation 3 generation, they lost sales. They lost power, or at best, power was a wash. And then games, again. Yeah, they had a couple of highly rated games, but then so did Nintendo, so did Xbox. So they didn't really have games to lean on either.
Not until the end.
4, very end.
And they did recover sales-wise worldwide at the end.
Yeah, but again, it all ended up break even.
Yeah,
Power
it was
break
more or
even.
less.
Sales was break even. Games was break even. They didn't win any of it.
No.
With PlayStation 4, they had it all. They had the sales. They had the games. They had the power. They had it all. They had everything. And they were so intoxicated by the fact that they had everything. And all of a sudden, with the PlayStation 5, they're going back to where they were with the older consoles where they didn't have everything and they don't like it. So they're going to cling to anything. They're going to cling to the SSD. They're going to cling to 3D audio. They're going to cling to all these things that ultimately don't matter. Like, games will load faster on PS5. Okay, I'll just have to deal with the fact that some of my Xbox games might load in 10 seconds.
How precious.
What a horrible
precious.
world we live in.
It's such a non-issue.
Like, but they're going to cling to it.
Yeah,
they will 100% cling to it, and they'll cling to it for dear life.
And if a PS5 Pro inevitably gets released, they'll try and proclaim it as the most powerful PlayStation in existence. And while that will be true for PlayStations, Xbox Series X2, or whatever the Pro model will be called, will just be that much better. So
it will definitely play into the narrative. That is the point. 100% it will, because there's not much else for them to play into.
Yeah, and it's got to be said, like, I know this has been talked, like, it's stunning how much they've packed into the Series X, like, for the size of it. It's just...
Oh, yeah.
Now,
wow.
Think about it this way. A Series X Slim, the size of a Series S, and a Series S Slim, the size of a tiny cube or rectangle.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows what it'll be.
It's crazy.
Imagine a Series S Slim is the size of an Apple TV. Ooh.
But what do you call a Series S Slim? You can't call it the Series SS. It's so dumb.
That's kind of like Nazi Germany-esque.
It shouldn't have been called. It shouldn't have been called the Series S.
Oh, it is. The acronym would be XSS and XX.
That's true.
X, but
so dumb.
Yeah, there you go.
Xbox
Next Twitter question.
Go on.
At Apache96, who's also a forum member, I believe. Hello,
Gav.
What are your expectations? Well, he's got LO without the H.
Hello.
What are your expectations for Fable? I think since there are already a dozen serious RPGs in production, therefore I believe Fable is taking the concept of the first part and bring it on a whole new level. Let me make my own kingdom. Expectations for Fable. I reckon it'll be pretty good. I was never a huge Fable fan, so I'm probably the wrong person. But, I mean...
I trust Playground games.
Playground are an unbelievable developer, so I expect it'll be a pretty damn good
game. If
game.
anything, Fable will run like a dream.
Yeah,
I
would expect to...
It'll look amazing.
Yeah.
I've heard, and I know there's been some discussion on what engine they are using, be it Unreal or proprietary, or
I think it was Unreal at first.
It was. I think I heard from a person that they had a bit of a rocky start engine wise, but I think that has been resolved. Personally, I think you can expect. I would tentatively call it a reimagining. So I would expect choice to matter again. I would expect it to lean into the things that make Fable, you know, so the character evolution depending upon your choices. But I think we're going to be in for a real treat when that game lands. And I'm really hoping that as an Easter egg at least, they let us plant an acorn at the beginning, and then over time it grows throughout the campaign, like as you age. That would be cool. But man, a modern day Fable really excites me. I loved Fable 2 particularly. I liked Fable 1. I didn't like Fable 3 so much, and I think they oversimplified it. So I'm hoping for a really fun, well-made action adventure RPG. That's what I want. So yeah, I've got some high expectations from Playground. I think they're going to smash this.
They're a good dev.
And they're in Britain. They know what to do. I think they've hired a few ex-Lionhead folks who've worked on the IP previously. Yeah. So bring it on.
Next question to Amin Ramadan 2. Does all games compatible to delete part of it, like how COD, Modern Warfare, Warzone do?
I think
he's basically asking, like, will all? I guess he's asking, or they are asking, will future games, I guess on Xbox, do like how Modern Warfare comes in parts and bits and pieces?
Smart delivery.
Well, and then you can install
some games will.
I think it's like Halo MCC.
I think COD will continue to do that. I think that's their way forward at this point.
Yeah, Crackdown did it. Yeah, as 2 parts, 2 executables. Yeah, maybe some games will, especially if a developer knows a game is going to be huge in one part, they will probably break it up.
For example,
PlayStation 3 even did that. Uncharted came in parts. You could download Uncharted single player separate from multiplayer.
I fully expect when Halo Infinite launches that the campaign will be a separate download to.
Yeah, probably.
The multiplayer.
And Forge will probably be another one too. Wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
if it's all
my hope
bits and pieces.
I wonder if they'll include it in the multiplayer or.
I think honestly, it's probably better going forward if they have 3 different executables for Halo Infinite: the campaign, the multiplayer, and Forge. Because at least then that means you have a campaign team, you have a multiplayer team, and you have a Forge team, and they can update their parts of the game independently from each other.
That's true.
But not just that. Like even as a person who's going to be getting Halo or downloading Halo, whatever, I have never touched Forge in my life. So I would not bother downloading that part of it. I'll just download the campaign and the single player. And then once I'm done with the campaign and I've got all the achievements and everything for it, I can delete that and just leave the multiplayer there. I like that. I think that's cool. I like the idea of that. That's me anyway.
That's how we've interpreted Amin's question. So let's hope we got it right. Hopefully. But yes, we think you'll probably get bits and pieces. But I think it'll be up to the developer. It won't be like a mandated.
But it won't be all games.
Yeah,
because he says does all games. It won't be all of them. Yeah. It'll just be wherever they think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. At Hornstein Henry. With Ubisoft's list of not compatible games, do you think more games will come out as unplayable for PlayStation? Yep. Because Sony gave us their list and didn't include those Ubisoft games. And now I tweeted out a while back that there's some bad BC news coming for PS5 because I got told that PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility would be spotty, particularly at launch.
It'll be coming in very hot.
And then all of a sudden Sony came out and reiterated the 99% and gave us the list of 10 games. So I thought, maybe in the subsequent 6 months since my source told me that, they fixed it up. Don't know about that one because now Ubisoft's got a list of games that probably won't work.
Wasn't it like bootable, compatible, not compatible?
Yeah, well, what happened was someone dug into the new website. I actually saw a tweet on this and said nothing. But someone dug into Sony's new web store or something like that, and they found an API that, and again, if I'm wrong, please tell me, but it was something along these lines. Someone dug into the new web store and found an API that refers to these games and whether they work on PlayStation 5, something like that, and they found the words compatible, not compatible, bootable, and next to all these IDs which refer to specific games, and there's a whole bunch that are not compatible, way more than 10. So there's a bit of confusion about whether compatible, not compatible, bootable refers to, is it boost mode, like the PS4 Pro boost mode? Is it just working on PS5? Like, there's still not much clarity around what those words mean.
But the game is fundamentally broken.
It's going to be interesting
but the fact that Ubisoft came out and were like, these games, they're not compatible, worries me now. Like, are we now waiting for Activision, EA, 505? Are we now waiting for all these other publishers to bring their list of games that don't work? Like, I don't know.
Meanwhile, Xbox is over here saying, yeah, everything works.
Oh, yeah, everything except Kinect games. Everything except the Kinect games is going to work. And don't get me wrong, I'm not happy about the Kinect thing. I've said that before. It is what it is. It means I have to keep an Xbox One.
You're the only one.
Yeah, but it means I have to keep an Xbox One around, which I didn't want to do. Like, part of what I was excited about was being able to get rid of Xbox One consoles and just use the Series X. But now I have to keep an Xbox One around. It's just annoying. And now I'm like, do I have to keep a stupid PS4 around now? Like, I don't know. Like, someone on Reset looked into this compatible, not compatible thing and came up with a bunch of other games that might not be compatible. And one of them was Need for Speed 2015. And I own that game. So I'm like, does that mean I have to keep a PS4 around potentially for these games that aren't going to work on PS5? Like, why did they have to do this stupid overclock thing? Why couldn't they just make it a normal console?
Never mind.
Anyway.
Never mind.
So, yeah, I believe there'll be other games. Henry? SX2 has asked, where can he get one of those Master Chief controller stands? So, you can answer that. I don't have one.
This, if you're in the US, I believe it's exclusive to Target, and I think they actually have an updated version now with the Halo Infinite Master Chief, which I really want to replace this one because this is Halo 4 Master Chief. He's a bit too detailed. I prefer my more stylized Chief.
I like the Sonic Hedgehog one.
But so in the UK, I think I ordered this from Amazon. So have a look, see if you can find it. It's pretty cool though. I like having it around to hold pads, holds phones as well. Does a pretty good job. So yeah, there you go. That's that.
Okay. So now to the forum.
To the forums.
Yep. So Bluehawk357 has asked, what small/side games will you be getting to go along with your main games on launch? Bright Memory, for example. After seeing the Watch Dogs Series X with ray tracing scene, how likely do you think we will see ray tracing going forward in games, and why is it missing from Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Do you feel 343 should be reorganized from the inside to work on a different series of games and give Halo to another studio? 4K UI. If we don't get it, can we all agree to do an angry protest and moan for 6 months until they implement it? Yep.
No.
If we switch our clocks around the house to New Zealand time, do we get our console a day early? Nope. Will you be watching the live event? Sorry?
I can't keep up with the beginning parts of the question. So what side games, little smaller games will we be playing on a Series X? I'll actually be probably playing more of them than I will be the big games like Legion.
I'm not going to be playing any of the big games myself. I'll probably play Tactics. I want to download and play Tactics and pick that back up. Yeah. But for me, I'll be playing like Falconeer. I'll be playing
Bright Memory,
Rocket League, Fortnite, Modern Warfare. For me, like I said, I've said it so many times. For me, it's about the current gen boost. I don't care about the new games. Yeah. I don't care. I love that Xbox is just perfectly merging PC gaming and console gaming. Like, I'm getting a lot of the, not all, I'm getting a lot of the advantages of PC gaming without any of the garbage.
I really want them to integrate Discord. But yeah,
they might be.
Maybe. What were the other questions? Let's.
Will we be watching the live event on the 10th whilst playing on your series at the same time? Sounds a bit distracting.
Probably not.
We don't even talk about that live event that's probably happening.
It's just we'll be playing some games and you'll be out playing with some developers and stuff. It's not. It's not. I mean,
do we feel 343 should be reorganised? That's a loaded question.
There have been a number. There have been a number of posts, even on our own forums, and we have a very strict policy. You know, I don't want to see anyone going into a thread and demanding that someone be fired when you don't know, right? Oh, this person should be fired because my video game isn't coming out, or the armor colors are the wrong thing, or someone left and resigned, so clearly the studio's in jeopardy. Yeah, maybe. But the point is, we don't know, right? For example, Chris Lee might have been like, COVID's really burnt me out and I'm absolutely knackered, and for my own mental health, I want to step away. I'm not saying that's what has happened, but we don't know what's happened. So to immediately assume, if, however, Halo Infinite comes out and it's a dumpster fire and everything's awful and broken, then let's ask some questions, folks. But until that's happened, can we just refrain from the drama?
You never really truly know what goes on in someone's life. So and this is taking it in another tangent. And I didn't want to use hypotheticals with Chris Lee because then people are going to go, XboxEra said that Chris Lee did this. Yeah. So I'm going separate from Chris Lee. So Zack Snyder left the DC movies. Why? Because his child passed away. Yeah. So you don't know what's going on in someone's life. Someone could be going through a divorce. Someone could be grieving a death. Someone could be sick and not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Look what happened with Black Panther. No one knew. No one knew what that poor bastard was going through. And he maintained his physical shape despite what he was going through and all. You do not know what someone is going through. So just always bear that in mind when you're taking a dump on a specific individual.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what someone is going through in their life. You never know. Especially this year. More so than any other year.
Right, I am burnt out. Right, I am completely burnt out. I was speaking to my HR team. How are you? And I was like, I'm fine. And then I was like, I'm not really. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I struggle to focus. Blah 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 blah. But you just got to get on with it sometimes. So not everyone has the mental fortitude to be able to do that kind of thinking and just plow through. But I made a series of choices this year that had to be made. I used all my holiday. I haven't got any time off to book until 2021. That's my choice. I've got to suck that up for the next 2 months, even though I would kill for a week off. It's just, it is what it is. But you don't know what's going on in someone's life, so let's not.
Sometimes just
kick them.
Just take a step back.
Yeah.
Like, Chris Lee's been there a long time.
Time.
He's probably one of the oldest at 343, I think.
Yeah, in terms of years there.
And 343, what isn't a secret is that 343 has buggered up a lot of things with Halo. Like, that's not a secret. So, and Halo Infinite got delayed a couple of months ago now. So everyone is automatically like, he's been let go because of the delay in Infinite. Probably not. If you take a look back, like, if Chris leaving 343 was related to 343 bugger ups, why now? Could have happened a long, long time ago. 343's buggered up a lot of stuff with Halo, so why now? Yeah. And he's still at Microsoft.
Yep.
So fair chance it's probably not what you think it is.
Yeah. Given
that he is still at Microsoft. And a company as big as Microsoft, like, companies of that size, right? They have obviously their own internal advertising. They advertise positions within. So Microsoft would have like a central hub where they'd advertise jobs at Microsoft. Maybe Chris saw one and thought, man, I'd really like to do that job. Not sure I want to be at 343 anymore. I like the sound of that job. It sounds cool. And maybe he just went for that job and got it. Like, it could be that basic.
Yeah.
It could be that simple. We don't know, but it could just be that basic. It may not be something sinister. That's all.
There you go. What were the other questions in there?
4K UI. Yes, we should bitch and moan about the 4K UI
skip
if it's
that
not
bit.
4K. We should grind that one into the ground until we get a 4K UI because there's zero excuse for us not to have one. How likely do you think we'll see ray tracing going forward? You know what? I reckon ray tracing throughout this entire generation is going to be super sparse.
I actually think you'll see it used sensibly and in clever ways, and it'll be more refined as the generation goes on. Initially, they'll be like, ta-da, ray tracing, and then it'll be more about subtle realism in certain scenarios.
Shadows, little things here and there, shadows, slight reflections where it matters. Like, they showed that screenshot of Miles Morales with rain tracing, and they had it in the puddle, which looked really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then they put it on the cars, and I'm like, cars aren't mirrors.
No.
I never understood why they did that. I'm like, that's the example of, quick, we have to put ray tracing in this game to show people ray tracing, just put it everywhere. And it's like, but cars don't reflect like that. They're not. I thought that was odd. But anyway, in the puddles it looked really nice. But
yeah,
I think I don't think these consoles are actually powerful enough to really do ray tracing justice. Like, if you've seen like full ray tracing used, like path tracing, and it's used across the board, it looks unbelievable. But these consoles are not powerful enough to do it. They're just not. Like, I think we're going to have to wait another generation, or maybe even two, to get path tracing in our games while also being 4K native and maybe 60 frames.
Yeah.
And
you say that, but look at Crysis came out on the Xbox One X with software-based ray tracing. Developers are finding new ways of doing stuff all the time, and I think But
I'm talking about full path tracing, though. I'm talking full proper path tracing.
You'll find that someone will come up with a way, I think, that will emulate or come up. It's not necessarily about this all singing or dancing. It's doing it in ways that make sense and in clever ways that look great but are cheap to do. We'll see. I mean, I've played Control, for example, with full ray tracing on PC, and it really is like, wow, this looks really cool.
It does. It looks awesome. It does, but it grinds your machine to a halt.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it looks amazing, but even that Minecraft ray tracing demo that was full path traced,
gorgeous.
Apparently, that computer was like, it was screaming in a panic.
That was running on Series X hardware, and they managed to get 1080p 30 FPS.
Ah, well, 1080 30. There you go. Like, it's
very
very
on the toll.
Intensive stuff. Yeah. Like, and that's why I think it's going to be another generation or so before it's part of everything.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a while. Big Z has asked, don't know if I'm in time, but do you kind of want the Xbox fridge? Yes and no.
Yeah,
yes and no.
Yes and no. Like, my wife would kill me. It wouldn't go with my kitchen. If they made the little mini version that Aaron Greenberg tweeted out, I'd have one in here somewhere. Yeah. Skip any questions relating to 4K UI.
Yeah, God, there's a lot of them. Look at all these.
It's more conversational. We're skipping it.
Wow.
Tavish Hill was the next one.
I think this could even be the last question. Let me just. Yeah. Hold on. No. There's a couple more. Okay. So, Tavish Hill, what kind of content can us Xbox era fans expect to see over the coming weeks with the launch of Next Gen? Reviews?
Next Gen unboxings, reviews, first looks.
Yeah.
If I get my Series X, I could probably do an unboxing, unless you want to do one, John.
Well, it's I'm not adverse to anyone from the team doing a just to set it clear, it's highly unlikely at this point that we're going to get a Series X before launch. So I would argue there's probably little point in us unboxing it. Like, that's been and done. It's old news now. I think everyone's seen enough of it. But I can't speak too much about what exactly we're going to cover yet because a lot of it's under embargo. But across the team, we are playing stuff, and we will make sure we have content ready for when reviews of hardware, etc. drop. Obviously, our hardware review will be focused on the Series S behind me, which I think is a more interesting thing to talk about anyway. The enthusiasts already know what they want. I think the Series S is a more interesting device, but maybe I'm biased because that's the only one we've got, baby. But you can definitely expect, especially with the new website, we're gonna be trying to go all out as best we can. We might not meet every embargo deadline, but everyone is working their nuts off to do so. So yeah, I think there's plenty more to come. We're going to have more guests lined up. I've got a really good guest that I really want to talk about, but I can't yet. It will probably land now at some point. I think either very, very late this year or early 2021, but that should be a very, very interesting conversation. All in all, anyone that follows us that is part of the community, you've seen us go from 0 on everything to getting launch hardware direct from Microsoft to review in less than 20 months or wherever it's been. We're not standing still. This isn't our job, but we would love it to be. We're working really, really hard to make that happen. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming.
Okay. Liam S, who actually asked a couple of questions. With Halo looking like it might be delayed until fall next year, and assuming that Starfield is holiday 2021, if they both end up coming out at pretty much the same time, do you think Xbox would delay one of them just to spread it out a fair bit? Or do you think they would release them close together? I love the podcast. I always look forward to it.
Thank you.
Spread them apart.
I don't know when Halo Infinite's being delayed till because they haven't said it. And Starfield, we know nothing about.
If we assume similar launch areas, let's say they're both going to launch fall or winter 2021, then yeah, they'd probably spread it out because those are two very big tentpole releases. Because it just makes sense to not put... You don't put Gears and Halo in the same launch month, you spread them out a bit. But
Starfield's interesting, though, because so far we technically know nothing about it outside of what that leak was. But Bethesda's history is they announce a game and it's out a few months later.
Yep.
So, or not announce, sorry, show a game.
Yeah.
I guess. Show, announce? I don't know. So odds are when they first officially unveil Starfield, it's probably coming out not long after that.
Yeah, it's usually like a 3 to 6 month gap. If
so,
I were a betting man, I know that considering the vitriol and 343's in trouble, oh boy, I would imagine that Infinite I think will drop either very late Q1 2021 or early Q2. That's my personal guess. And if Starfield is this year, which would be cool, then that's your big Christmas game. I very much doubt that Halo is going to come out towards the end of 2021. I think that is just super pessimistic. And yeah, if it's end of 2021, then there's definitely been some hiccups at 343, but I don't think it's that big of a delay.
I've said I think it should be the end, not because it's in trouble, but to give them
all of the polish that they could possibly want.
I think it's
I don't disagree.
Make it, the most unbelievable looking game.
Release it when it's
ever.
done.
Just give it the full year. I'm not saying they're going to take a year because it's in trouble. I think give them the year to just
go nuts,
polish it to a high sheen, and I don't know, maybe even ditch the Xbox One. I don't know, to allow them to really fully utilize the new hardware. But anyway, Liam, this is the last question. We're there. Also, Liam S. Do you think there is anything first party coming next year that's not the usual suspects? I think they might get Forza Motorsport out next year because the director on Twitter replied to someone that said that Forza 8 mustn't be next year because they got Forza 7 on Game Pass, that they had a big team. So he was replying saying they have a big team. I also think Everwild might be closer to finish than we think. Also, do you think Fable is 2022 or 2023? 2022 looks like it's going to be stacked for Xbox in a huge way. How do you think they will handle spacing things out during 2022? Well, okay, so there's a lot to unpack there.
So
that
first
isn't
off,
the usual suspects.
Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, that's 2021.
Yeah.
Yep. Forza will be next year.
Yeah, Forza will be next
shocked.
year.
I'd be shocked if Forza's not next
Forza's
year.
going to be your September game, for sure.
Halo's next year. Forza's next year. Psychonauts is next year.
Do we think Hellblade 2 is going to be next year?
No.
No. Fable
2022.
I'm
I'm actually going to go 23 on that.
Maybe.
No. Fable won't be 23. Fable will either be 22 or like a super late 2021, I reckon. What else? What else is there? Jesus.
There's so much that I'm struggling to think about it. It's like
State of Decay 3 won't be next year.
Nope. Avowed won't be next year.
Avowed won't be next year.
Everwild won't be next year.
Starfield is a chance of next year.
Everwild?
It's a chance. Yeah, Everwild's a weird one. I got told ages ago that Everwild is closer to finish than we think as well. Like when I was first told about Everwild, I was told that it might be closer to finish than we think. But then all of a sudden we heard nothing about it for ages, and I don't know what's going on with Everwild. It's a chance for next year, yeah, sure, but who knows?
I doubt it.
I don't know. Probably not.
I'm more interested to see what Global Publishing is up to, because I think there's a lot hiding. Oh, and I guess while we're on the subject, there was a supposed leak from Crytek that suggested Rise Next was in development. A sequel to Rise. Now, wouldn't that be something? I'd love it.
I'd give anything for Rise. Rise is so underrated.
It really is.
Like, it is like, and the funniest part is the stuff that Rise gets bagged for, like, and apparently was marked down for,
is par for the norm in Last of Us, Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, the stuff that all of Sony's exclusives get praised for, the story, the visuals, and all that, Rise had all that. Rise was stunning. Like,
it really was. It was good.
Even now,
its story wasn't that great.
It was pretty good for what it was.
Mate, I don't even give a rat's ass about story, and I even reckon Rise's story was pretty good.
I
don't care about story. Yeah. I actually thought that was a decent story.
I loved the world as well. It was just good.
And like, yeah, I don't know. I still reckon that game was just a victim of being an Xbox One launch game. Had that been a PlayStation 4 launch game, man, that would have been viewed way differently.
Yeah.
That game. Way differently, and it had multiplayer, and that multiplayer was pretty fun if you played it with someone else. Yeah. On your own, it wasn't the best. It was just a horde mode.
Yeah.
It was effectively just a horde mode where just waves of enemies would come at you. But if you played it co-op with someone else, it was actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think it's an underappreciated game. I really enjoyed it. I have to see if one of the guys wants to do a Xbox Era retro on Rise. I'd love to see it. Like the guys did one on Recore, and it was really cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll do one on Rise. I loved Rise.
Be good to see. I'd watch it.
In terms of how Microsoft space it out, they seem to be learning. Like Microsoft used to be the release nothing throughout the year company and save it all for fall and let them cannibalize each other and then be eaten alive by Call of Duty and Battlefield. That's how Microsoft used to be.
Yeah.
They seem to have learned from that. So we got Sea of Thieves in April or March of the year it came out. We got Crackdown in Feb. We got State of Decay in like May or something. So they seem to understand now because Sony taught them that lesson to space their stuff out throughout the year and let the third parties duke it out in October, November. Like let Activision, EA and all them fight amongst themselves. Like to me, Microsoft should try and own like June, July when nothing comes out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, I know you just randomly brought it up and I just want to say one thing is Sea of Thieves fans are in for a treat.
with Series X and S?
There was nothing else I wanted to cover. I realised that was our last question. So thank you to everyone that submitted community questions. We do love doing them. We can't always get to every question, but we do love doing them. One last thing I wanted to just quickly mention. For those fellow Brits like myself, obviously today, the day I'm recording this, Saturday evening, it was announced that we're about to go back into a lockdown, which means for anyone that's got a pre-order for their console at a physical store, I would be calling them in the morning to find out what their plans are, and if they don't know yet, keep calling them if you're keen on getting one. I have 2 Series X's coming my way via Argos and via Amazon. Both should be, well, one is definitely delivery via Amazon. One's Argos do deliveries, so it's time to find out if they're going to be doing their fast track thing and sending it to me at 9 a.m. or whatever the case may be. But yeah, just be aware in the UK now we're in lockdown. If you've ordered from Smiths or something like that, they might go back to a click and collect system, but we're being told that all non-essential retail will be closed. So you've got to ask yourself, is your video game purchase non-essential? Yes, it is. So make plans, make calls, find out what's going on. It sucks. If you've ordered from Amazon, you'll probably be okay. But yeah, time to be a little bit worried. So
and Melbourne just came out on lockdown.
Yeah, all right, so, suck it up.
I can now go in.
We have a terrible prime minister, all right.
Towards another Switch. And
meanwhile, the governor of California is doing a banging job getting everything under control here. We are actually, I think we're negative cases now. We're going down.
That's good.
Compared to the rest of the country, who's going up. So we're safe.
California's borders.
Yeah. Time to secede from the United States.
We're safe and secure. I wish California could shut its borders, but that's interstate commerce and that's the federal government's job. So
yeah. So for Melburnians, go and get your trade-ins in, and we can go pick up our consoles next week or the week after.
He's gloating.
Man, we've been in lockdown.
No wonder you get so much hate mail, yeah?
Hard lockdown since June. So the lockdown you're about to go into, we've been in it for 4 months. 4 months? 3 months. July, August, September. It feels 4 months.
The whole year has been a blur, man. Like, I feel like we were talking about the Game Awards Xbox reveal. It feels like that was 2 months ago. It's just like the whole year has gone.
Oh yeah. But I don't envy the lockdown you're about to go into because we just came out of it.
I think this is what's contributing to me feeling so burnt out is because I work in this office, I game in this office. It's hard. But anyway, let's not end on a sour note. We are 10 sleeps away. At least it's 10 sleeps for me. All right, from new consoles. Maybe not necessarily lots of new games, but there are some. But most importantly,
plenty of backlog, guys.
There's plenty of stuff coming down the pipe.
There's so much backlog.
Lots of coverage from XboxEra. So if you're watching this podcast, give us a follow, give us a like on YouTube, subscribe, all of the social media stuff that we obviously would love you to do. Check out the forums.
And drop a comment and tell me if you want to do a PlayStation 5 unboxing for XboxEra. Because I'm not getting an Xbox. I'm getting a PlayStation 5.
Only if it's done in a comedy style where you do it in a really fanboy way and this is horrible, and it just ends with it going in the bin and then it cuts.
I'm happy to do a PlayStation 5 unboxing.
But yeah, on that note, we've just smashed past 2 hours. I think that's long enough. So we're going to take a break. Now, by my calculations, the next episode we record
will be after launch.
So
only
just. So we'll see you on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. Also, don't forget to check out our sister podcast, You Had Me at Halo, where a bunch of Halo fanboys get into a room and argue about pistol versus AR versus BR starts for 3 hours at a time. It's great.
And if on our next episode you can't see me on camera, it's because the PlayStation 5's taken up the whole room and the camera won't be able to see me.
And
all
you've
you're
just
going to see
become
is the
a
PlayStation 5.
As it's assimilated the rest of your living room right there.
That's all you're going to see is a PlayStation 5 and me in this corner of the camera, like trying to make room for myself.
But yeah, it's all fun. We're really looking forward to it. You should be too. And stay safe out there. Love you lots. See you next time.
See you guys.
Ciao for now.